your gifts? What's inside you laying dormant right now that could come out and let you enjoy the things you want? Because you were put on this earth distinctly to do something that nobody else could do. Hey, welcome to All Things Business. Al Thomas here. Thank you for joining today. Hey, go grab your water, your juice, or whatever have you, because this is going to be a little bit of a long one, because I'm going to talk about dreams do come true. Dreams do come true. I'm going to give you a little background on myself so I understand this is to motivate you, to let you know if you hang in there, you too can have the results in whatever your desires, goals, or dreams are in life. I'm going to go back a ways when I first got involved with network marketing. I got started my first year. First of all, I didn't like network marketing in the beginning. You know what? Because of all the things we've all heard, but then again, they weren't true. But later in life, I fell in love. When those checks got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, more than what some people made in a year, I was making it in a month. I fell in love. Let's face it, we all fall in love at that point. But when I first got in, I had a couple of dreams and goals. I said, you know what? I want to buy a mansion. I want to buy a nice car. I want the road. I want all of that stuff. Because when you start off, we all have dreams and goals and desires. And my first year, I made about $17,000 in network marketing, worked about an hour a day. So 3 hours here. Think about it. I was working an hour a day. My first year, I made about $17,000 part-time. My first year in network marketing. My second year, I put a little more time in. I made between $60,000 to $70,000 working 3 hours a day. Now think about this. My 3 hours a day was doing more than what people making 8 hours a day. My three got rid of it. Does that make sense? In my third year, my income jumped up to about, let's say this, $60,000 a month. Now, I'm saying this to say this. I got busy, I got to work, and I really went all out, and I did the things that I had to do to get to where I wanted to go in life. And I made a decision. So what I'm doing right now, I made a decision. So in that decision, I want to show you that check that I was making when I first got involved in network marketing, because I was serious about it. So here I'm here on stage getting my check for $57,000 for 1 month. Okay? For 1 month. Why? Because I start building a business. I put blinders on. I didn't look left. I didn't look right. And I kept going. It's like microwave popcorn. You hear the popcorn? Boop, 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 boop. You know, when you first put it in, it says turn it on 3 years, okay? And go to work. And all of a sudden, first couple seconds, nothing. All of a sudden, boop, one IBO. Boop, 2 or 3 more agents in your organization. Before you know it, bingo. My best year in network marketing was about 8,000 people joined my team in 1 month. I'll say it again. 8,000 people joined my team in 1 month. The next year, because I kept going and building, and now my business grew, here I'm on stage getting a check for $101,330 for 1 month. I don't know if that's clear. Now think about that. For 1 month, $101,330. It's all documented. And I kept growing my business, and it kept multiplying out like rabbits. It's like putting 5 female rabbits, and it kept multiplying. My next year, I was doing $169,000 a month. How clear that is. Now take that times 12, and it was growing. You know, there's always those people, well, I need a technical explanation. So here's my explanation I have to show people. It's called a technical explanation of our marketing plan and how it works. 2 rabbits, got 2 rabbits, got 2 rabbits, got 2 more rabbits, and there you have it. So here again, it's simple. And one of the things that I wanted to make enough that I could enjoy life. See, I didn't get involved because I wanted to. I wanted a future, and I had a vision. Watch this, a vision for down the road. I wanted a nice car. I wanted a nice house. You know, I remember going over. We took the corporate jet over to Germany. We left Germany. Flying over to Germany. I remember coming back and seeing 2 sunsets in 1 day. We flew to Germany. Coming back, we stopped, had breakfast in Germany, lunch in Ireland, and then dinner in Papados, all in 1 day. And so 2 sunsets. And I dug up some old pictures, and here we are going to Germany here. Matter of fact, here I'm in Germany at where the wall came down. And this is U.S. checkpoint Charlie. We took the jet over. Myself, there you go. And there's some of the guys we took the jet over back in the day. Now, why am I showing you this? Because these are dreams. Don't give up on your dreams, your hopes, your desires. You know, I went to work to make it real. You know, and one of my other goals was I would take guys up to the ranch. Steve Smith, you know, vice president, and you know, had a ranch at actually had 5 ranches. And we would always go up there and take people up there to the ranch. And I'm going to show you some pictures. And the billionaire mentor, Mr. Kenny Trout, here we are at the ranch. And I would always go to his suite and watch the Dallas Cowboys plays. And one of the blessings of building a business and getting to know wealthier people, I would sit on the floor of the games, of the basketball games, or I sit in the suite. So here's the suite, the Flagstaff suite. They're in Dallas, which I haven't been in a few years, but I would go quite a bit. And, you know, we had it all catered, and there's food being catered to the suite. They knock at your door, bring all the food in. Whatever you need was right there. Bathroom, everything's inside the suite. And here we are inside, right outside this. Oh, this is at his mansion. There we are there. And here's some of the guys up at the ranch. We would go up there. All the leaders would go up a couple times a year. This is at Steve's ranch. We're out there on the you know, just he had like 3,000 acres with 7 houses on it, and roads going to the houses, and go out shooting and fishing. And matter of fact, here's Jordan Allen. You guys know who he is, Beach Money. And there we are there at the ranch, hanging out at night, the leaders in ACN. And we did a lot of fun things. Why am I showing you this? Because these are things that I did in my life. There we are, skeet shooting there at the ranch. And we'd go fishing and get fresh fish, fried up. We had a lady, Becky, and there was 3 people that worked the ranch full time. Because it was a big place. And I'm there fishing, catching a little something, catch and release. And here we are going down one of the houses there, had my cowboy hat on, and you know, we went out, you know, you can go out shooting if you want to, and they're in the front of the truck there. One night they went out and they were duck hunting for boar, and here me and one of the hands at the ranch, hanging out there at the ranch house. We'd eat there in the morning, and we used to play liar's dice on the ping pong table. And, you know, it's like 8 houses on the whole ranch, and we'd all meet at the barn, played liar's dice. And one night Chuck ran out of money, and we were having a good, you know, he ran out of money, so he had to take the helicopter into town, landed a helicopter in the bank parking lot, go to the ATM machine, get some more money, jump back on the helicopter to come back to the ranch and continue the game. We had so much fun. And here's Steve. There he is with his little pistol there. Matter of fact, he bought a town in Texas called Fajitas. He owned the town. He made himself the governor, the mayor, the dog catcher, the rule maker. And here around the fireplace with some of my team, I flew up there singing at the fireplace up there, one of the ranches, having a good time. We did some great things because here again, it all started with a dream, a hope, a desires, and kept going. And one of my goals was to buy me a plane. And I'd made a decision. Oh, I got some more pictures of the ranch, taking some of my leaders up to the ranch. Before I do that, here I am here when I was married. We took the corporate jet over to England to go buy these Burberry shirts for my family at the time. There's my wife at the time and my kids. We all have blue Burberry on. You can see this is the corporate jet we took over. That's another time we're going to the ranch. And here I'm taking some of my leaders down to the ranch another time. And here's a time I was taking another group of leaders down to the ranch. Now, why am I telling you all this? What are your goals? Who are you building up? Who are you showing a lifestyle of enjoyment, how you could have the better things in life? Oh, one more picture going down to the ranch. There we are there. You can always tell that's the corporate jet there because, yeah, that's their jet, not mine yet. So let me kind of show you a picture of my first, some of my first things I wanted was get me a couple of Mercedes, and I did that. Here at him, when I started making my third year, I started making good money. I bought a couple of Mercedes, and this is in my house in Gold River. I had 3 Mercedes, his, hers, and a 4-door to match. And yes, those. Here I am here again. And some of the celebrities I brought in business. Here I am. I just dug this one up the other day. Here's Michael Jackson's brother, Marlon Jackson. I brought him in the business of network marketing, and had some fun. Had a lot of fun. Made a lot of great people. But what am I saying? What are your dreams? What are you willing to give up to go up? Working hard at? You know, one of the goals was to buy me a little mansion. And I said, you know what? That'd be great. So tell you a story. When I started making good money, I said, you know what? I wanted to buy a mansion. I had an idea what I wanted. And when I pulled up to this place here, I knew this was my house. It was on an acre of land in Fair Oaks, California. It's on my channel. And I saw this place and I said, my God, this is amazing. It was 8,000 square feet. Kind of hallway was long. Matter of fact, it was so big I had to put the bells on my daughter's shoes so we could find her. And here we are here. Here's a shot of it. The circle driveway, 4-car garage, put another 12 in the driveway. It was huge. And here's a couple of cars there, a couple of Mercedes, all three of my cars matching, like I showed you before. Why? Because I had a dream. I was willing to go to work and make it real. I was willing to roll my sleeves up to make it happen. And then one of the other goals was to buy my first plane. And one of my mentors took me around on his jet. And I said, well, if he can get a jet, I can get what? A plane. He stretched me like this rubber band. And I went out and got my first plane. It was a 414. Matter of fact, here I'm here. There it is right there. We're going to gas it up there. There we go. Yeah. And I would do contests to take my group on trips. And this is one time I was taking them up. I think we're going to Reno that time or somewhere for a meeting. And there's a few of my ideas inside the plane. Yeah, it holds 6 very comfortably. 8 if you needed to. And there's Chip. Chip was my Mercedes guy there at Sacramento. He sold me 3 Mercedes that year. It's crazy, but here again, I was doing very well because I had a decision and I was willing to go to work and roll my sleeves up. What about you? What are some of your goals in life? What are some of the decisions you really want? What are some of the things you really want to do? Now, the question is, are you willing to really go after it? And despite everything, despite the negative, despite being told no, despite your mother said this, despite your daddy said this, you know, I want to show you some more pictures. We're going to the ranch and I would fly into to Dallas on a commercial and I'd have the helicopter come grab us at Dallas at the airport and take us out to Steve's ranch. And this time I was in the front there on the helicopter. And here we are. We're about ready to take off from Dallas to go down to the ranch. And there I was leaning against the helicopter. And here's one of my best buddies. He got involved in our network marketing company, Bob, who soon passed away later, a couple years back. And there he is there. We're at the ranch at this point, you can tell. And here I'm at the control. Let's see, this is good. No, this is the plane. There we go. A couple pictures there. Must skip over here, the plane. So there it is sitting on the run. My plane. And here I am in front of the plane again. And by the helicopter again. So then it became the point, because I was living the life that I always wanted and that I deserve and what you truly deserve, I put the time in. My kids were young. And I remember 5, 6, 7. They're not going to remember me missing a birthday party. But will they do remember when they were adults or younger or a little older flying on private jets? They remember that stuff. They're going to remember me missing parties. And a lot of times we get our other half sometimes make us feel guilty because we missed a birthday party. When in fact, I was building a legacy. So whatever college and high school they want to go to, they could go to it. Both my kids went to the private school here in Vegas called the Meadows, and it's not cheap. Now, they remember that longer than they remember the birthday party. My kids are adults now, but if I, hey, do you remember the 3rd year or 4-year-old birthday? They don't remember that stuff, but they do remember that daddy put them in private college and high school. That's important. So let's not lose the fact that we might miss a party or two to go build something for our families. My dear friend, Chris Chido, who's an optometrist here with 4 locations, was in my organization back those days. And Chris Chido and I were, I took him down to the ranch a couple of times. I did a contest, and here I'm on the jet with my cowboy hat on, heading down to the ranch. And here he is there in the ranch. We're having a bunch of fun. Matter of fact, I'm meeting this Wednesday for dinner, 3 amigos. And my son was just a little young whippersnapper. There we are on the jet there going down to the ranch. And here's another time we were taking the jet. I don't know where we're going here, but I think we just got back from London because my daughter had a Burberry on, so did I. So my kids understood what it meant to fly private. Now, what am I saying by this? Because their dad went to work hard to make it real. I went to go build an organization. I went to work, and in the beginning, yeah, it's not, yeah, I know, I understand. But everything you went through, I went through. But I kept going. And here was a group of my superstars. And we did so well, they did a video on us in a magazine, Young Entrepreneurs. And most of my guys on my team, my girls were 18, 19, 20, 21, 25-year-old when my team first got started. And here I'm taking a bunch of the guys out. I think we're heading down somewhere. Here's a bunch of my leaders on the jet. All youngsters, all youngsters, all youngsters. Because they saw something. They had a desire. They just needed a good mentor to share with them. You know, the co-founder of the company, Steve Smith, he had an Australian plane, no, it's a Israeli plane called West Wing. Real low to the ground. And here's a trip. We were just landing in Oregon, up there in Oregon. And you could see, we just getting off the jet, his jet. See how low it sits to the ground? There's my dear friend Brian and Becky, the secretary. There's two Beckys in the organization. And here he is, my dear buddy Brian and Steve getting off. There we go. And then him, Brian, his girlfriend, and Becky on the gospel. And as you can see, it's a small cabin plane. You couldn't stand up in it. It didn't have a bathroom on it. And here Steve and I in front of it with our bags. And then later on, he bought a Gulfstream we could stand up in. And here we are in the Gulfstream clowning around. There's Chuck Hoover on the Gulfstream, just clowning around, having a good time. Because making money is one thing, but also developing relationships. So I remember one time we took his little he had a 152 trainer plane, a little Cessna, 2-seater. One day we were out at the ranch. He said, hey, let's take it up to Sacramento. And we jump on it. We're like, really? Okay. We're goofy. From Dallas to Sacramento, California was 11 hours on the plane. We had to make 4 stops to use the restroom and 6 stops for gas. And every time I'd fall asleep in the passenger side, he'd take the yoke and push down, like, wake me up. Those were fun times, folks. Those are something that money can't buy. And the reason why now I could talk about it, because these are things that I did because I dreamed. Dreams do come true if you're willing to sacrifice today for tomorrow. They do come true. And this is my second plane, or my jet. Well, the second one was the jet. Here we are here. Beautiful plane. Well, my little SL. And I'll just show you a couple of them. Now, at this time, things were, as you could tell, going great. And my other billionaire, Kenny Trout, we would take his jet. I'm going to show you some pictures of those. And here I'm at his house. Matter of fact, his house is amazing. I ain't going to tell you where it's located, but trust me, it's in Dallas and lives across the street from Ross Perot. That's all I'm going to tell you. And here we're in his house here. He's got a basketball court that doubles up because for fundraisers. Bought the house next door for $10 million and just knocked it down so his wife could have a park to run on. When you're a billionaire, you can do stuff like that. And then he bought the house behind him. I don't know what he paid for that one, just to have hedges and knock that one down. And here we are on the jet one day. I don't know where we're going here. And there's Mr. Scotty Popsicle. And there's John in the background. The guy standing up was Kenny's security guard. This guy was amazing. And then here we are, Kenny and I on the plane. And we might have been going down to the ranch. I could see I got a cowboy shirt on. And here we are on the jet, just chilling out. All the guys, a couple of us, Kenny. And we landed in Dallas, getting off the plane. And just a couple more shots here. And you go private, your car comes right on there, grab you right there. And years ago when he came to Dallas and my kids were smaller, here we are at a basketball game. He, let me tell you what he did. He has a team, got the name of it. Well, he would pay for all the kids on his basketball team. He paid for their schooling, books, all the lodging. When they fly, they would fly. They would actually use a Mavericks jet when they flew around. We're talking about just the regular basketball team. He took care of everything. Transportation, their books, schooling. He put scholarships up for some of them. Some of them went to the pros. And, just being in that company, I want to share something with you. That's why I call this dreams do come true. Now, how many of us know 1 billionaire, 2 billionaires, let's know 3 billionaires? And I just want to show you some things throughout my life that I've accomplished because I was willing to roll my sleeves up and go to work and make it real. Yes, it was painful. Yes, it was tough. Yes, it took commitment. And here's one of my other billionaire mentors, Mr. Peter J. Daniels. Funny story. I lost contact with him. I was reading a paper years ago, and he was coming to town. I saw went to go see him. I walked into the auditorium. He didn't think I was, saw me, had me come on stage and talk. And I thought that was a blessing. One of his books is called The Awesome Power of Public Speaking. Came out a few decades ago, and here I am in the back endorsing the book when I had hair. What a phenomenal gift, and there's several books I've been involved with. Another one was Excel Phenomena book, with Kenny Trout. And we took that, we grew faster than Microsoft. And in the book, I'm telling you, it's just a blessing. There's myself and Kenny Trout. And I would go to the conventions, and here's one in convention, what my guy Rick would double up as my bodyguard, and I'd have him on 24-hour call to go pick up my leaders from the airport. We stayed at the Anatole, now it's in Dallas, and we did once a year our trainings there, but it was phenomenal, and also it's just a blessing. Why am I saying all this? Why am I showing these pictures? Why am I showing the past? Because I too had dreams and goals and desires as a young man. And I still have dreams, goals, and desires as a more mature man. However, I want to show you, no matter where in the world, no matter who you are, what age you are, what background, nationality you are, you too can have the things that you truly desire if you're willing to go to work and make it real. What are you willing to give up to go up? Now, I'm just showing you a little bit of my life because I want to share something with you because for me, it was important. It was important. It was important to have the things I wanted. It was important to go to work and make it real. It was so important. It was very important. My question to you, what are you willing to give up to go up? Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not to brag or boast. I just want to give you a little bit of my background, who I am. And now I put together a channel. Now, on the channel, I got a book called God's Gifts that I give away for free. What are your gifts? What's inside you laying dormant right now that could come out and let you enjoy the things you want? Yours might be something totally different from mine. I get it. But how are you going to get there without those gifts coming out of you? Because you were put on this earth distinctly to do something that nobody else could do. And you know what that is? And if you don't, go within and find it. And let that guide you to who the man or woman you should be. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this inspired you. I just want to share a little bit of my life, what I've done in my life, and I still got a lot more to do. So I want to inspire you. Hope this inspires you. Dreams do come true. God bless.